Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm going to be doing like a microblading experience video, and some parts of this video it's going to be like a vlog, and others it's just going to be like I'm sitting here talking to you guys like right now. I'm getting ready to leave to go to my microblading appointment. Actually I have a hair appointment first, and then I'm gonna go and get my eyebrows microbladed. It's basically a temporary, it's kind of like a temporary eyebrow tattoo that lasts anywhere from 2 to 3 years. And I think like every year you're supposed to go back and have them touch it up. With the process they do, from what I understand, like what I've read up on it, they do make little cuts like into your skin, and then they put like the dye. Now I know that she does numb the eyebrows really well before she does the procedure, so I have to let you know how painful it is or anything like that. Like I'm not for sure, like with a tattoo I think it goes like below the epidermis to the dermis, and that's why it's permanent, but I think this is just the epidermis, like the upper layer of the skin, and that's why after 3 years eventually it'll, you know, shed off. But this is my natural eyebrows. I don't have anything, like I haven't filled them in or anything like that. And I want to zoom you guys in so you can see what they look like before. And as you can see, like this brow over here is a lot more full than this one. Like I have gaps like right in here. And I have been growing out my eyebrows since January of this year. And during that time, I did not pluck or tweeze my eyebrows whatsoever. And then I guess about like 5 or 6 weeks ago, I had my eyebrows professionally shaped, where they went in, you know, and waxed them. She said that after 4 or 5 months, like your eyebrows are not gonna fill in anymore. That's all the more that they're gonna fill in. And then I went ahead and scheduled this microblading appointment. She couldn't get me in until like 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks from that appointment. So it is Tuesday, July 24th. I don't even know if you can see it on my phone there, but my appointment is at 1:30 today. She said that the procedure should take about 2 hours. She sent me like a big pamphlet of information, like you can't use Retin-A's or vitamin C, or you can't be on Accutane, anything that's gonna make your skin very sensitive. You can't get this done because, you know, it's really putting your skin through a lot. So yeah. I'm just gonna try to take you guys along and show you guys the whole process and everything. My mom's actually going with me, so hopefully she can film some stuff. So yeah. So I have the numbing gel on right now to numb my brows so I don't feel anything whenever she goes in to do the microblading. For 30 minutes has to be on there. I feel like I look like a alien, not an alien, but like a spaceship person.
Star Trek or
Star Trek, yeah. My mom's here.
So it gets darker around 48 hours, and then it fades usually starting around like day 3 or 4, and it's usually done with the fading by day 10.
Okay, so in 10 days it's gonna fade to what it would be.
So day 1 you're gonna be like, why am I so precious? Day 2 you're gonna be like, a little dark. Okay.
No, it doesn't even feel anything. Honestly, plucking
Yeah,
feels worse than this
a lot of
sometimes.
people say it's similar to tweezing. They
Yeah.
ask me, "Are you tweezing my brows?"
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like tweezing.
So the first pass is what we're going to do is just create the outline of your brow, because what we're going to do is we're going to wipe all this pigment away, and it will leave the outline as to what we need to continue into. And then we'll numb.
Yeah, I could see where some people, though, if they never tweeze or wax or anything, how it might hurt, but it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Now, if I wasn't numbed, that might be different.
Yeah, you know, some people do not numb prior to.
That would just be crazy.
Woo. I am all for comfort, slow and steady. Alrighty, that brow's done. I'm just kidding. We'll move to the next one. And then what we'll do is we'll put numbing on afterwards.
Does it look like it's bleeding much, Mom?
It doesn't bleed at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't see no blood.
Nope. So I could talk about this all day. So tattooing goes to the dermis, which is the deepest layer of your skin, and that's why it's permanent.
Uh-huh.
And that is where the blood source is. So that's why you bleed with tattoos.
Okay.
The microblading, and this is why it remains so crisp in your brows, it goes to the epidermis, so
Okay.
it doesn't disperse, if that makes sense.
Right. And I guess that's why after so long it fades out.
So your epidermis consists of 7 different layers of skin,
Mm-hmm.
and those layers are constantly exfoliating.
Right.
So that's why it gets lighter instead of just fading, like one day it's just gone. So the younger
Yeah.
client, the faster it exfoliates. So
Oh,
that's why I say
really?
1 to 3 years. The more mature the skin, more mature the client's skin, the slower it fades. So that's why older clients it's like 2 to 3 years.
So at first you just do the cuts and then at the end you push the dye into.
So every cut we do,
Uh-huh.
we dip it into pigment
Okay.
and we do the strokes. Why we do the pigment masking in between the strokes is to make sure that every single stroke is the same amount of pigment.
Okay.
You have pretty nose hairs, Julie.
Thanks. They wax those out too here.
Oh, okay.
We sure do.
Okay guys, so I just got back home from my appointment and this is what my brows initially look like after the microblading. There's probably going to be some little areas like that, because I know that this one looks like it might need to be touched up a little bit, but she said that your brows kind of swell a little bit and then, in 10 days, you're going to really be able to see what it's supposed to look like. And then in 5 weeks, I go back for my perfecting visit. So if there's any little gappy areas that I want touched up, or if I want my brows to look a little more fuller, she can add a little bit more in to fill them out some more. And plus too, depending on how the pigments take, because maybe in some areas, maybe it won't take as good. So that's why you go back for your perfecting visit as well, to just see how everything takes after the 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, I think is when you're supposed to go back for a perfecting visit. So in the meantime, while the brows are healing, they gave me like a little pamphlet of just information and a little kit because you're supposed to put Aquaphor on your eyebrows morning and evening. And I really, really like them already. I feel like they look so good. It looks like I filled them in. So yeah, this is gonna be so nice on those days like today when I wake up and don't want to wear a lot of makeup. I don't have to worry about filling in my brows. She did an amazing job. I really like the way they turned out. So thank you so much, Kate. They look amazing. And I can't wait to go back for the perfecting appointment and just see how they're gonna turn out in the end. I'll see you guys in probably about 5 weeks. Okay guys, so it is super early in the morning today. I am going back for my last microblading, perfecting appointment, and I wanted to show you guys what my brows look like now that they are completely healed up. And I'll kind of like brush the hairs over so you can see like the microblading. Do you see right there? I need to get my eyebrows waxed or threaded or whatever because I have a lot of strays growing back in. This is the brow that's like was more sparse. But like if I move the brow hairs, you can really see the microblading on this one. Hopefully that was in focus. I normally don't work on Tuesdays, and today is Tuesday, and they called on overtime at my job, and I forgot to set my alarm last night. I'm gonna be leaving work early so I can go and get my brows done. So it's like 6:20 a.m. and I have to be at work at 6:30, so I gotta get going. I just arrived here to my appointment and I'm getting ready to walk in Body and Brow. They just moved to a new location, so I'm gonna take you in there and like show you everything like I did last time, since that's not their location anymore.
The cold blue sky, so clear from my view. I'm standing still, the world still moves. I'm counting sheep to try to fall asleep, wondering why I'm the only one.
So I literally just got my brows done. I'll probably film more once I get home because it's kind of hard to film, you know, like this. So you guys can see everything real good. You'll be able to see it better at home, but I love them and she did such a good job. So I'm just so excited that I finally got this done. I'm finally home. I figured you guys could just see what they look like better on this camera and lighting than on my phone. Though it is kind of cool to see it just like in another lighting situation. So that's what this one looks like. And of course, just like before, they will fade a little bit. She said they'll fade 30%. So in 10 days, they will be faded to the color that they're supposed to be. So right now they're pretty like full on, pretty intense. I will be back after 2 weeks from today. That way you can see what they look like when they're completely healed. Today is August the 28th. So, I mean, it has been a little bit of a process to do all this, but it is so worth it. So yeah, I'll see you guys here in a minute. This is what my brows look like. They are completely healed up. They are faded to the color that they're going to be. This is just my natural brows now. I don't have them filled in at all. This is just what they look like. I don't even have brow gel in them right now. I just wanted them to be completely natural so you could see what they look like. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the Q&A now. And I asked you guys on Instagram, on YouTube, to ask me questions, and I asked you guys a couple of different times. So I went through my different posts and things like that and gathered all of your questions together. My number one most asked question was, does it hurt or how painful is it? And first off, I just want to say that I have a very low pain tolerance. So I cannot stand needles or pain of any kind. I just don't have a high pain tolerance. Like when I get my blood taken, I usually cry. I cry when I get shots. So I just don't do well with needles. I have no tattoos because of that. I didn't feel like it hurt at all. Now she did numb me really good. It honestly felt like she was tweezing my brows or like waxing them or something like that, or threading. That is what the pain level felt like. If you've never tweezed your brows, if you've never gotten them threaded or waxed, now maybe it could feel painful to you, but if I had to rate it on a scale of 0 to not being painful at all to 10 being like so excruciating, you couldn't stand it, I would rate it at like a level 2. So, I mean, you do feel it, but it doesn't feel painful at all. Definitely make sure the place where you're going is numbing. If she didn't numb me, I would say that the pain level would probably be like a 5 or 6 if I wasn't numbed. And then another thing too, it was really weird, but when she got over to this brow over here, and especially microblading here in the front, it made me have the sensation that I needed to sneeze. And she told me that that is very common because, you know, you have a lot of nerves and stuff up in your brows, and you know, that can happen. I never actually sneezed, but it felt like, you know, I might sneeze. So that is my thoughts on the pain level. I didn't feel like it hurt at all, and I'm a baby when it comes to pain. Okay, the next most common question that I was asked is, how long does it last, and is it permanent or temporary? It is a temporary brow tattoo. So she told me depending on how like mature your skin is will depend on how long it lasts, but she says anywhere from a year to 3 years is how long the microblading will last. My next most asked questions, I kind of grouped them together because they're all kind of around the same thing, but how much does it cost? Is it expensive? And is the microblading actually worth the cost? Depending on the salon is going to depend on the price. So, you know, just research and figure out where you want to go. Some places might be less than this, other places might be more expensive. And Body and Brow is located in New Albany, Indiana. I live right outside of Louisville, Kentucky, so New Albany isn't that far from me. So if you live in the Kentuckiana, that's what we kind of call this area here in Kentucky and Indiana. If you live in the Kentuckiana area, this salon is close to you. But anyhow, so I'm just going to read what they have on their website. Your investment will be $450. This includes the initial visit and the perfecting visit 4 to 6 weeks later. When you book your appointment, you will be asked to pay a non-refundable $100 booking fee to hold your desired time and date. This booking fee goes towards your total investment of $450 and hold your spot on the calendar. Your appointment is not booked until you have paid your deposit. Please review our cancellation policy prior to booking. I mean, it is a little bit of an investment, but for me, I feel like it is totally worth it because just like I told you guys, this is my brows not filled in. It's so nice to wake up and just have perfect brows, and you always have a perfect brow day. The next question, do you still have to use brow products after getting it done? So this is totally like personal preference, and also too, whenever you get the microblading done, she asks you different questions like, what is your goal with getting, you know, the microblading? My goal was to improve the shape of my brows and to make them more full. So if you didn't want your eyebrows to be as filled in as mine are, you could have them, you know, just where it's more of the shape and not as filled in. And if you did that, then you might need to use brow products to, you know, get them filled in more. Also too, like with mine, I don't necessarily have to use brow products, but I do like to use brow gels to hold my brows in place. And also too, if I do a really intense makeup look, it is better to fill them in because it's just gonna bring everything together. So sometimes if I do a really intense smoky eye, I do fill my brows in, but day to day, I really don't fill my brows in that much. I just use brow gel. So, you know, it's really just personal preference when it comes to that, but you know, I don't really feel like I have to anymore. The next question is, how long does it take to get it done? And I think she told me that it takes 1 to 2 hours to get it done. I can't really remember how long I was there the first time I got it done. How bad does it look during the healing process? How long does it take to heal? So I thought the same thing too. Like I thought that maybe it would scab up like a tattoo, but it does not scab up at all. And during the healing process, it takes anywhere from 7 to 10 days to completely heal. And during that time, it doesn't look like anything different than what it looks like now. The only thing is that they are a little darker at first because the dye is just like really intense. Now they do feel, you know, a little tender and sore like that first day after you get them done. And that's kind of something else I forgot to mention in the does it hurt, is it painful question. So right after I got my brows done, it felt like I had just gotten all of my brows completely waxed off. And so they are sensitive, and they were also sensitive to really bright sunlight. I know that's really strange, but it almost made them feel like they were burning when you were in direct sunlight after I got them done. But like within, I'd say 2 or 3 hours after I got them done, they didn't feel like anything. And like the next day, they didn't hurt at all. While they are healing, you need to clean them morning and night with a gentle soap. Like just lightly, you know, kind of massage over them with the soap to loosen up any dead skin and to just make sure that they're staying clean. So, because you don't want them to get infected since there were little cuts made. And then I put Aquaphor over them to protect them so that they could heal faster, so they didn't get dried out or anything like that. So that is the process on that. Can you microblade over a scar? So I asked Kate this question because I was unsure about it, and she said that she can definitely microblade over a scar, that is not an issue at all. Is it an option for those of us who have very sparse brows to begin with? And this procedure is perfect for people that have really sparse brows. This is, you know, the whole reason why you get the microblading done in the first place is, you know, your brows don't have good shape or they don't have any shape and you want them to look nice and full, you're the perfect candidate for the microblading. And I'll put some before and after pictures of other people that, you know, Kate and other people that work at her salon that do the microblading, like the before and afters, because it is like a miracle on some of the people that she has done where it's like they have no tail of a brow at all, and then it looks like they have an amazing eyebrow. So that is the whole purpose of microblading anyway, and that's why I got it done, was because, you know, I had a lot of gaps in my eyebrows where I tried to grow them out and they didn't fill out, and like where this one just didn't grow on the top anymore over here, and it just makes your brows more even and all that sort of thing. So I mean, if you have super thick brows, you don't need to get microblading done. So it is definitely for people that have very sparse brows. Okay, my next question, do you have to shave your brows in order for the microblading to be done? No, and you definitely don't want to do that. And this kind of goes along with the next question. Do you have to grow them out for any length of time in order to get them microbladed? So I did let my eyebrows grow out to as much as they would grow out because I was trying to not have to get them microbladed. I just wanted to grow my eyebrows out completely and then just get them professionally shaped. But unfortunately, when I let them grow out completely, they didn't all grow back in. Like all my hairs didn't grow back in. So that's why I got the microblading done. And you don't have to necessarily do that, let them grow out for 4 to 5 months. She said that it is good to let your eyebrows grow out like 2 or 3 weeks before you go and get it done, just so she can see what your natural shape is. And, you know, maybe with some of you guys, like your eyebrows just aren't going to grow in, like that's all that they're going to fill in. And if that's the case, don't worry about it, you know, if you're wanting to get your microblading done. And I also forgot to mention this, but she measures like everything out, so you know it's the perfect brow shape and everything like that, and she'll mark everything and show you what they're gonna look like. So yeah, is there anything you would change about the results? No. I completely love them. I think she did an amazing job. And like I was saying, like I'm so glad I got it done. I feel like it's so worth it. Okay, so these next questions I kind of grouped together because they're kind of the same sort of questions. How to know what place is the best to go to? What did you look for before deciding to get it done? How many places did you investigate before you found the one you trusted? So for me, I feel kind of lucky in answering this question. So I know the girl, Kate, that owns Body and Brow, and I was friends with her before she opened up her business. She used to work at other like waxing boutiques in the Louisville area, and I started going to her to get my bikini waxing done, like before I would go on vacations and stuff like that. And so I really trusted her. Whenever she opened up Body and Brow like 3 or 4 years ago, I started to follow her on Instagram, and you know, I saw all of her work that she would post on, you know, her brow transformations and everything like that. And I just fell in love with her work. Plus I already trusted her from, you know, going to her for my bikini waxing. I mean, I know that's like a completely different area of the body, but I felt comfortable with her. I knew I wanted her to do my brows because, you know, I saw her work, and that's kind of what made me want to go grow my brows out in the first place, because I loved her work. But yeah, you definitely need to see, you know, people's before and afters, and also talk with them to see what their procedures are. Like, do they numb? Like, do they measure your brows? Cause Kate, you know, measures your brows so you get, you know, the perfect brow shape. So you want to check to make sure that they do certain things like that. And just, you know, once you have the consultation, you're gonna know if you feel comfortable with them or not. So I mean, I feel kind of lucky in my spot because I knew her prior to her opening up her own business. And honestly, like if I hadn't been following her on Instagram, I don't know if I would have ever thought to get this done, because I'm so cautious about things like that, and it's so hard for me to trust people. So yeah, I didn't really have to investigate too many places because, you know, I already knew prior to me even growing out my brows that I was gonna go to Kate. Okay, so the next question, is it something you would honestly recommend, like to a bestie or your mom? And yes, I would totally recommend this to my best friend or to my mom. I've actually been trying to persuade my mom to go and get it done because she, you know, feels like her brows are a little sparse and she wants to improve the shape of her brows a little bit. So, you know, since she went with me to see me get it done and everything like that, I might be warming her up to get it done. And I've also talked to some other friends about getting it done. So I would definitely recommend this to friends or my mom. Like I said, I've already recommended it to her and to some of my friends. So yes, definitely something I would recommend. And then the last question is, what if you don't like it or the shape when they're done? So this is something that you definitely want to make sure you're going to a place where you like their work, because since it is a temporary brow tattoo, it is going to stay in your brows, like I said, from 1 to 3 years. So once they put that on your brows, like, it's going to be there. So you definitely want to make sure that it's something that you want to commit to, that you trust the person that you're going to get it done. So yeah, and I almost forgot, I may have had my lights turned up too bright during that whole Q&A, but I wanted to do up close on my brows so you can see what they look like now that they're healed. So let me zoom in, and like I said, I have nothing on my eyebrows. Let me get my brow brush so I can brush them. And if I do like this so you can see the microblading, I mean, you can definitely tell that she had filled them in quite a bit more when I went back for my perfecting appointment. But just so you can see the microblading, which I know, like, a couple of days ago, my eyebrows were kind of dry because I hadn't been putting the Aquaphor on them as much as I did the first time I got them done. So I think they kind of got a little dry. But you can definitely see the microblading on this one better. Hopefully it's in focus so you guys can see. But I mean, I still have to go back, you know, and obviously get them waxed or threaded, or I can pluck them. I mean, it's not like once you get your brows microbladed, you're not going to have anything to tweeze. I mean, unless you just are so sparse you don't have any like little strays like that. So I hope that I answered all of your questions. If there's a question that you have that I didn't answer in this video, please leave it down in the comments and I will get back to you. Also too, like I said in the video, if you live in the Kentucky, Indiana area and would like to go to Body and Brow, I'll have all their information down below, their Instagram, you know, their address, their phone number, all that information, you know, in case you want to get in touch with them, I'll have that down below for you guys. But thank you so much for watching today. I post new videos on every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. If you are new or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye-bye.